Allow the children
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Politico, this one not the off in mind. And in the touch like every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you lie down, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego die the politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we not talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. Man of the masses. Ayegun la wa mo la mo do.
Hello there.
La mo do. Glory Facebook, glory YouTube.
Good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun Live. You are joining, you know what to do. At least you've read the caption of the broadcast. You should also read the description of the broadcast. Like the broadcast. Keep all of that to yourself. Share the broadcast. Tell everybody.
Facebook.
You can always come back to watch, though, right?
YouTube.
we are going to start from Kenya tonight. You may be asking yourself, what are they protesting for again? I thought the president has withdrawn the controversial finance bill. You should watch this broadcast. Kenyans knowing the booby trap the politicians have set for them. They have already bled, and many of them have been killed. It's better to make sure that all of your demands are met. What are those demands? Share this broadcast. I don't end it in Nigeria, of course. So today, I know we are starting early tonight, which is great, because I'm going to be away. I'm going to be away for 3 days. So after tonight, you probably won't see me again until Saturday. So it's good to start early, and we can all go to bed early, I think. So thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are joining tonight. So it is Mayegun Live, and we are batching our ship right now. We are docking our ship rather now in Kenya to give an update on what seems to be an endless crisis leading to political crisis and all of that. So people who are from outside Kenya, you might be wondering, why are they still protesting? You know, the president has offered this. You've seen it on the media. You've seen, his proposals, wherever it is. And you are wondering, why are they still? Okay. The reason why Kenyans are still protesting is very simple, but complicated. Simple in the sense that if you remove the interest of the political class or if you manage to cut down the interest of the political class from the scheme of things, right? It is simple. People will bear the remaining brunt. It is complicated in the sense that the politicians are currently being offered what you can call a Russian roulette. And that is where you have to leave one single bullet in the gun. And you keep pulling it. So they feel the one is not off, that means you're lucky. That is what the Gen Z of Kenya are offering. So here is the detail, okay? IMF, International Monetary Fund, and World Bank, they have, like other African countries, so they are holding Kenya and Kenyans to ransom, economic ransom. Kenya has been running on deficits on their budgets, and they have kind of been borrowing to cover it up. But the problem is that chunk of their budget goes into taking care of politicians in their country, buying cars like Nigeria. So things have now gone even worse economically. But there is a way out. And that way out is to go further into indebtedness with some other stringent conditions. All of these were being pushed on the Kenyans, who have to deal with tax increase on almost everything. And at the end of the day, an average Kenyan would have to be paying 40% more than what they are paying for their commodities as we speak. While the politicians continue to allocate millions and billions of their money on bogus projects, just like Nigeria. So this new loan that you want to take from the World Bank, it's so ridiculous, right? That the loan itself is probably under $4 billion. That's what puts Kenya in trouble, or put Ruto in trouble with Kenyans now. But to prove to the World Bank that they can pay the loan back, Kenyans will pay. So they have to increase their taxes. And that will affect those who need medical care. To access medical care in Kenya will be much, much unaffordable. It will be too much expensive, like it is currently in Nigeria. Access to food, basic food, will become nearly impossible for many. And that's the proposal of Ruto. So that led to, don't sign that bill, don't sign that bill into law. We're not going to comply. But Ruto was adamant. He told them that they had to sacrifice. Everyone telling him not to take that loan and then increase the taxes. They were enemies of Kenya. Meanwhile, people were saying, listen, if we need so much money to fund this budget, inside this budget, you can still save more than 30% of what you plan to spend that you don't even have. They don't have the money. They want to borrow it. But chunk of it is to take care of themselves. So the Kenyans were like, okay, you know what? If you are, I'm just using random figures now, right? If you are planning to spend 2 trillion, or let's say 3 trillion Kenyan shillings in 2024, and this 3 trillion is going into buying cars, increasing salaries of politicians, paying allowances to their wives, paying extra costs for them going abroad in large numbers. Here you get. Now, this 2024 finance bill is going to fund all of this. Why don't you cut all of that down? If you manage to cut it down, we've done the math, all right? That simply means you don't need 3 trillion. If all the purpose was to, spend it on yourself, but pretend that you are borrowing them for projects in Kenya. You know what? If you cut so down, that means Kenya won't need more than 1.8 trillion. Now let's now come back to what Kenya can afford. So if Kenya can raise 1 trillion and they need to borrow 800, if Kenya can raise 1.5 trillion, but they plan to go and borrow 1.5 trillion. Now that they have cut it down to 1.8 trillion, that simply means even if they have to borrow 300 billion, that will reduce. And if Kenyans have to sacrifice, you politicians are also sacrificing too. Chunk of what you are going to steal have been cut off, so we don't need to borrow that. Now, if we have to borrow now we know what you want to borrow for, right? Then we can say, go on and borrow the money, and we will bear the brunt. These were the offers they gave to Ruto. But they kept pushing the narrative that this idea was going to wreck Kenya. If Kenya don't go and borrow this money, Kenya will not be able to finance, Kenya government will not be able to run. People, nothing will really work in the country. They were gaslighting their citizens, including the lawmakers that went on to vote yes. They were threatening those who said no. Among the lawmakers, no, don't do this. They were threatening them that if you vote no, when we get this money, you are not going to get any share, including your constituency. Let's see how you are going to win election. They were threatening themselves. Open and no hiding anything. No. The whole country was now like, near explosion. So the Gen Z who have analyzed the old danger, the risk, their future, those who are going to stop going to school because they won't be able to afford sending their children to school. Their parents won't be able to. So majority of them, who knows what this is going to mean to them? Some of them bury tribalism, bury religious division, bury ethnicity, bury political differences. Majority of them who are now out there in Kenya today, they were those who were also propagating this guy to become their president based on what he told them. Then he made a 360-degree U-turn. Sorry, 180-degree U-turn. Boom. And he wanted them to. Now, he's now calling them anarchists. He's calling them this. So in order to dissuade them, he called on this military and the police, and those ones didn't give full kind of what he wanted. So there was no full compliance. So he went on for the secret police. Those ones they normally recruit like that to spy on you and other stuff just for the presidency. They hired their thugs, agberos, to pretend that they were protesters, to start looting shops, so that will be enough for the military to say, you are looting shops. That's not protest anymore. That's not peaceful anymore. So the president of the country was setting his own people up because he wanted to force that IMF stuff on them. So last week, Tuesday, was day one. They invaded the parliament. They attempted to take over the government house where Ruto and his guys have been hiding, right? But they were rebuffed. That of the parliament couldn't, that one succeeded. They couldn't stop them. So that then sort of gave Ruto an impetus to feel like, you know what? Even if we disagree, now that you have caused disruption, 2.4 billion shillings losses in looting and destruction, I, as the commander-in-chief, I have to act. You are blowing hot and cold at the same time. You will pretend that, okay, you know what? For the sake of Kenya, what do you propose? It is the same proposal. If the Kenyans are going to suffer because of this economic hardship, right? The politicians shouldn't be saying, flashing money, buying cars, latest cars, 2024 models, SUV, buying themselves private jets. Lawmakers in Kenya, like, they were living all this, like, Versace, Gucci, live on social media. They were flaunting wealth. Blessing Nigerian politicians still gets a little bit of a control, even though not that much. In Kenya, politicians will come to the church with a bag of money, stolen money. People knows. They will praise God for him. It was so brazen that identity politics in Kenya protected these politicians this long, because everyone wanted to protect their own. Yeah, we know everybody is bad, so we cannot sacrifice our own. Our own is bad too, but we like our own bad. Yeah, like Nigeria, they love their own criminal politicians differently too. Like Nigeria, there are God-fearing criminal politicians in Kenya too. In Islam, in Christianity, in other things they believe there, right? In boboing the people. You have them in Kenya too. And there are those that will defend their own Christian brothers because the construction or the building of their church, project was financed by this politician, this MP, even though their basic amenities are completely missing in most of these suburbs. They were flaunting wealth, protected. But Kenyans were like, they couldn't do anything. The older ones were so divided. Like I said, identity politics. They were suffering, but they just kept it to themselves. I played this video earlier today. I'm going to start with that. This is the leader of the League of Muslims in Kenya. And he says some beautiful truth here. We're going to start from that.
We have lost very important people in this process. We have lost our boys and girls. We have got so many who have been injured. First of all, we condole all those relatives of the ones who have died, and we pray for those who are still in the hospitals for a quick recovery. We have to start feeling for this before we even start talking about the issues. The problem is we always address the issues and we leave the sufferings of Kenyans. There are Kenyans who are suffering, who have lost their loved ones. We should address that. As far as the clergy is concerned, they have a role. Will they deliver on the role? It depends on the leaders of those different sections of the society. But do they have a role? Yes, they do have a role. My position, or the position of the Muslims, first of all, is that we commend the position that has been taken by the youth. At my age in this country, for 40 years, I was fighting, struggling to get to the position where the youth have taken us today. Yeah. We've got a new constitution, but there's no constitutionalism in this country. Laws are being made to suit some people. It is legalizing the illegal. which is what's happening in this country. What the youth have done, they have come and taught us a major lesson. First of all, the youth have gone beyond the barriers of tribal relationship. Yeah. They have gone beyond the regional representation. They have gone beyond ethnic and religious divide. That teaches the people of Kenya a lesson. It is something that we should immediately pick it up. That when we sit like this, we don't see ourselves, people come from different religions, right, but we see ourselves as Kenyans. Mm-hmm. We don't see ourselves from different tribes, we see ourselves as Kenyans. It's something that we have been taught today by our children. And our children need to be recognized for that.
That's right.
Secondly, the subjects, the way that the youth are handling now, it is what we would have wanted to be handled. We didn't know how. We didn't have the means. Because we became selfish, we became individualistic, we became tribal. Their unity and unity of purpose, coupled with peaceful demonstration, has taught this country a major thing, that nobody is above the population of this country. That goes for the presidency, that goes for the CSs, that goes for the MPs, that goes for the governors, and that goes for MCS. For the first time, there is recognition that there is people that actually the leadership have to account for. Okay. We did not get that for 60 years. That was brought by our boys and girls. We should appreciate that greatly. Okay. I think it's a major achievement in this country. Yeah. We, as clergy, have to support the youth to bring about these changes. We have lost.
You get that? Now, that is the man that is the chairman of the League of Muslims. He is like the Sultan of Sokoto to Muslims in Nigeria. We've seen the head of the Catholic. We've seen the head of the, what's the other one again? Right? We've seen the head of the other bigger churches who have allowed the younger ones to actually express themselves on this matter in their churches. They've mobilized members of their churches to say, listen, the moment your economic existence is threatened, even the church will be threatened. So yeah, we support you. They were there mobilizing, they were there raising funds, they were also there physically on the streets themselves to give moral support to these youngsters. Ruto is blowing cold and blowing out at the same time. People are still being kidnapped. Those kidnapped that they called arrested, they are still being held. Their court, the Supreme Court in Kenya, right, gave the order that all those held or kidnapped must be released by Ruto. He has been releasing some more. As they were releasing some, they were kidnapping others. So now these youngsters believe that what they are up against, if they don't need it in the bud right now, they will end up like their parents. It is now or never. So if Ruto is going to be so strong-headed, they do not want him anymore. And at this point, right, the whole country united to say no. Well, like Nigeria, there are some elements in the police, in the military, in the secret police and others, right, who are willing and ready to deploy some unorthodox means of trying to break the protest, break the supposed revolution, because that's what they call it right now in Kenya. The parents have seen, like some parents in Nigeria now, there are so many of these elderly people who are always present on this platform, this Mayegun's Diary Political, from Nigeria, from all over the world. And you know why they are always here? It is because they agree that something like this should have been done a long time ago, when majority of them at the time still had something called patriotism in them, at least loyal to the land and loyal to the people. To some extent, then they missed their way. They became selfish, they became greedy, and then they became tribal, and they became more and more and deeper religiously divisive. And that was why they watched Nigeria completely torn apart, even when the agenda at the time was to probably build a country that is united, and they can call it a country, Nigeria. But in the process, they grew apart. And that divided country today has become the stronghold of criminals, lawbreakers, human traffickers, organ traffickers, drug dealers, drug traffickers, treasury looters, who are now running things there because the people right inside the place are more or less, trapped. It is a contraption. They just maintain the identity politics that's it. And some of them wishes what you are seeing in Kenya actually happens in Nigeria, but they conclude it will never happen. So Kenyans chooses a Tuesday as a showdown day across the country. So they put out a poster, right? And they call it total shutdown from the 2nd of July. Today, Ruto must go. And right now, it is like a consensus, right? So this morning, like they do in Nigeria, they started mobilizing some of the policemen that want to wear uniforms. Then some agberos, thugs. They arm them with clubs. They arm them with sticks and other dangerous weapons to mix up with the protesters and begin to either attack them, to steal their phones, rob them, or break into stores. So today, some of the store owners who have suffered this coordinated state-sponsored looting in order to discredit the whole thing, right? So some of the store owners, they themselves have now formed vigilantes around their stores, especially around the CBD in Nairobi. So today, this morning, there was a video just at the Assembly Center, City Hall. And City Hall in Kenya is practically the governor's office. So there were some armed thugs that were being mobilized from the city hall. All of these are being mixed together. I kind of have a few videos I put together, okay? I'm going to show you them. At a point, there was actually a guy who pulled a gun and he was shooting at the protesters. He's not a police. He's not dressed as a policeman. He's just kind of like a pull a corner. I'll show you. So today, with all the threats, with all the killings, Kenyans came out for Ruto again today. He must go. They insist. He can no longer lead them. He has mobilized armed people to kill Kenyans. All for what? For the IMF. He has to go. So let's go to Kenya, where we have this all long watch, okay? So the first part, this morning.
Niaje? Sinikuhoji.
Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Immaculate.
Immaculate.
Yeah.
Why are you out with baton today?
At first, I came out of my house, coming here, knowing I'm coming to protest, like my fellow youth who are protesting. Now things have turned. Ask me why.
Why?
The goons have been sent everywhere, stealing from people, snatching people's phones, and we are here to deal with them.
Okay.
Deal with them first, then we'll continue with our protest later. Yeah.
All right. But you protest. You support a protest.
Yeah, I mean a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Protestation. Yeah.
Okay. How about everybody else here who got sticks?
We are here to protect people's shops, people who are being snatched phones. Yeah, there are goons who have been saying, and we've just saw a video circulating, them coming from City Hall. from the governor's office, City Hall. The goons. They've been sent to snatch people's phones, break into people's shops, and we are here to stop them first.
Right.
Before we continue with the protest. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Has been fired at me right now by a police officer. Na hii damu yangu, hebu angalia. Angalieni tu vile nakaa. Just for nini nimebeba mimi naweza umizana mtu? Nini nimebeba naweza umizana mtu? Kadera kwa kazi yake simulizi kitu yote. Mbona angalia. Ruto, mali huko. Damu yangu itamwagika bure. Haijamwagika bure. Wenye umeua ni kidogo, utatua si wote. Utatua si wote. Tunapigania haki yetu. Yote ni mavijana hawana do. Hao wote ni mavijana hawana do. And you have the guards. Sebu angalia. Angalia tu. Angalia hapo vile nakaa. Mr. President.
He's a joke.
Unaendelea na kazi yako. Unaendelea na kazi yako Mr. Ruto. Tutajua sisi na nani.
So you can easily tell those who are protesters and those who are just goons, agberos, who are out to loot and vandalize and all that. And those are the people Ruto are banking on. You know, those are the people he's banking on to unleash the military. but they are not being deterred. The real protesters. Because of our time, let's go back to that Kenya, okay, and see other things that happened today. Ruto is still adamant too. He hasn't made any announcement yet too, but hopefully he would, and then we can actually pick it from there too. Now this one is longer. Listen, if you just joined, take a moment and then share the broadcast. Like it. That's your offering, okay? But let's go back to Kenya. What happened today in Kenya? Another day of rage, where the people are asking Ruto to leave now.
Songa Dennis. Toka hapo wewe nawe.
We come in peace and we don't want trouble. Yes. This is a clear message from the Gen Z.
Ruto must go. We are tired with your government. Umetuchokesha wewe. Umetuchokesha Ruto wewe. Kwani mara ngapi? Mimi kijana mdogo nalipa ushuru hata kuliko nyumba naishi. Common sense. Mr. President, karibu tusaidie. Sisi tunaumia kama mayuth. Bado msikii. Hatutaki vita. We don't want war. Kwenye mumeua imetosha.
Welcome back. That last shot, right? Did you see that guy, like, you know, aiming at them and then firing, right? Firing his pistol. So that's how many innocent people, peaceful protesters, were shot and killed by these, you know, mufti-wearing state agents in Kenya. So we don't know if it is the 7 days they call it, which means that it's going to be like a straight 7 days, which means tomorrow could be another day. I'm not sure. But yeah, their poster clearly states that it is going to be 7 days of, or 7 days journey to the new Saba, whatever that means. It's a total shutdown Tuesday. So it started today. But tomorrow will be another day. Let's go back to Nigeria, okay? So the flight we found, should I say, the one we found will have to land us in Edo in Benin. And then, yeah, we're going to stop at Benin. Or should I say Edo State, rather. Here is something from Edo State that should possibly also get the attention of those in charge of Edo State. I don't know who they will push this blame on, right? But this is an existing problem. And I think you should know.
This is another bad spot. What's the name? Bro, what's the name of this street? Ojo Street. Okay, this is Ojo Street off, Kenyan Road by Nipco filling station here. Now, take just take. I go still road enter inside. We not go still road enter inside. We go just down. Yeah, they don't abandon now, Nabi. So you see, the people here are complaining. There's no government. No, let's even be honest with ourselves. Am I supposed, or are those people supposed to call Obaseki the governor for this type of roads? No, I'm supposed to be calling on the local government chairman or the councillor, right? Because these are government closer to the people. But you all know what happened in the last local government election, held September 2nd, 2023. Obaseki refused to conduct local government election. He conducted a sham election where violence was unleashed on the Edo voters on ordinary local government election. Just take a look at this road. There's no government presence here. It has been abandoned. Now I'm supposed to be calling on the local government chairman here, but because they are stooges, I parked my car and I've told my backman, let me use my leg to cross. No, let me say it like the other guy. I parked the bike and I can't take leg cross. Just take a look, take a look, take a look, just take a look. We are still going, Just, it's in a mess. I don't do they speak English, oh. This Obaseki problem don't pass the one way we they talk English. Make I talk calm. The way when they do me as a bender boy. No, nah, see nah. Is this nice? Is this nice? No single government presence here for these people. It's wrong. Now you are saying justice, equity, and fairness. Where is the justice, equity, and fairness for these people that live in Ojo Street? Tell me. Just from the beginning, take a look now. From the beginning of this road, just take a look. Terrible. And we're still going. In fact, I cannot even go further. I'm already tired because just come and take a look at what my palm slippers is in a mess. My palm slippers is in a state of comatose. This is River Obaseki. Everywhere in Edo State is River Obaseki. Huh? I'm not supposed to call Godwin Obaseki the governor in this type of roads. The local government chairman is supposed to handle it. But he did not let the will of the people to prevail. Allow me. This is not just this is not just, I'm not just speaking to Governor Godwin Obaseki right now, but I'm telling you that any governor that is coming to power in Edo State, please conduct local government elections so that at the end of the day, I don't have to bother you. Instead of bothering you, let me bother my local government chairman and councillors. Take a look. Take a look. Are you sure there's no big reptile here? Are you sure if I should go in here, crocodile will not swallow me? How am I sure there's no alligator inside here? How am I sure? Take a look. These are Godwin Obaseki's legacy project. Take a look. Where is the justice? Where is the equity? And where is the fairness? Where is it? You employ social media talks, giving them money to be reporting people who are speaking the truth, speaking truth to power, exposing your failed administration, to be reporting their accounts on social media, shouting Jeffrey, justice, equity, and fairness. Is this justice? Is this equity? And is this fairness, Godwin Obaseki? You have failed us as a people. And come September, Edo people are going to reject you and reject the person you are projecting. Because we are tired and we cannot continue like this. Edo people, if you want a change of what you are seeing right now, vote Labour Party.
Shut up. I didn't see that part. I should have. Anyway, Sha, they say River Obaseki, all of that kind of things you see, they are all over Edo states. And they popularly call them the River Obaseki. And talking about equity, justice, and fairness, Yoruba people are beginning to now speak up because according to one of them, they have been unfairly treated inside Nigeria. They have over 360 oil wells scattered all over their territories, but they are not given their place in Nigeria. One of them was at the Arise News, so I just want you to listen to him, okay? And I'll tell you why I wanted you to listen to him. Another complaint.
You know, frankly, that oil and gas sustain the Nigeria economy. And Urobo ethnic nationality produces high quantum in oil and gas. In fact, today, we have over 350 producing oil well, producing in high quantity. And the Urobo is crisscrossed with a lot of gas and crude oil pipeline. But today in the Nigeria project, we are nowhere to be found. For example, look at the composition of the board of NNPC, where you have the two executive directors and northerners, people who do not produce oil and gas. Meanwhile, the Urobo ethnic nationality that produce oil and gas in large quantity, what Urobo produces alone is more than Imo, Edo, and Ondo put together. That tells you the quantum of oil we produce. We don't have a sitting member in the board of NNPC. And again, you have a PTDF. PTDF trains people yearly on overseas scholarship. You cannot see any Urobo man, any Urobo daughter that is on the list of that scholarship. You see names like Abdullahi, you see names like Adamu, and so on and so forth. People who come from areas that do not bear the brunt of the oil production. Today, we the Urobo people cannot farm. We cannot also fish. Our ecosystem has been bastardized. And the oil and gas we produce in the entire petroleum sector, we are nowhere to be found. For example, they decided to casualize our people. If you go to Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company, our people are casuals. If you look at all the strategic business units in the oil and gas, our people are not there. For example, NNPC has about 55 chief executive or executive directors. Out of these 55, you have 36 for Northern Nigeria, and you have 16 for the entire Southern Nigeria. So Urobos are nowhere to be found. That the federal government, at the federal level, that is not a law. Even at the state level, we are being shortchanged. For example, 30% is being given to the state government. And in Delta State, we have a law called the Sopadek law. 50% of the 30% ought to be given to the commission called the Sopadek, Delta State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, for the development of the oil producing areas. We cannot have projects from the Sopadek that is commensurate to the quantum of the oil we produce from that 50%. And in fact, the sharing formula that goes on in the Sopadek today is a mere allocation of figure. Okay. It ought to be on production.
Okay, but with due respect, the governor of Delta State, Sheriff Oboriwori, is an honorable man. Why are you complaining about the Sopadek, that Urobo's interests are not being met, when the governor is an honorable man?
Thank you very much for this question. The governor is an honorable man. We are talking of age-long neglect of the Urobo people. For example, Urogan has called on the state government to reach out to the appropriate federal government structure or office to give us the quantum of production. Until the quantum of production of each of the ethnic nationality in Delta State is gotten from the appropriate government office, in this case, Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, the mere allocation is an injustice to the Urobo people. Because today, in the Sopadek, the Urobo people working there are suffering. Okay. They are being treated like second-class citizens.
So all of this is music to my ears. They are suffering, but the governor is an Urobo man. I mean that because what concerns have you raised with the governor? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, it is the state that pretty much runs the Sopadek. So why have you not raised these concerns with the governor of the state? And why are you crying marginalization? A lot of people will look at you and say, Edo, we should not play this regional or ethnic politics. It's not good for national development. But I say you are crying marginalization in a state where the governor is an honorable man.
In fact, the marginalization is of two strata, from the federal government and even at the state level.
So let's deal with, so are you saying,
let me tell you.
Hang on a minute, are you saying that is an Urobo man-led state government that is now marginalizing the Urobo people? Is that what you're saying? That administration of Governor Sheriff Oboriwori is marginalizing Urobo people? Is that what you're saying?
For example,
is that what you're saying?
The 8-year tenure of Governor. Let me answer that question.
Okay.
For example, the 8-year tenure of Governor Okowa, Urobos did not benefit, frankly speaking, because if that 50% was actually moved to the Sopadek, released to the Sopadek, and those monies were used for the oil producing area, we will benefit a lot. That is why we are calling on Governor Sheriff to reach out to the federal government appropriate office to give us the quantum of production for each ethnic national. You know.
Nuisance, Lele.
You get it? So if you don't get it, forget about it.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
Alaye is hustling for their own meal tickets. If Abdullahi can come from Zamfara to come and sit down and get appointment in NNPC, Zamfara, we no get oil. What is wrong with Alaye from Urobo? They didn't give us appointment, but you are the governor of the state. Oh, I forgot. I forgot that. I'm talking about before now. Oh, okay. So it is not about the development of Urobo land, provision of basic amenities like a road, power, water, healthcare, schools, and all of that. He was not on that program to complain about all of that. He was there to tell everybody that since now tribal, ethnic, religious, and all other nonsense that people are using to have their own fair share of the national cake. So why not? I'm Urobo. I am Urobo. You need to give us, but they are already giving the oil producing areas 13% derivation formula. How about you go to your governor that collect the 13% derivation and ask him, we are oil producing community. You need to pay more attention to us. Also, Badek is controlled by you. How come you cannot really go there? And, I mean, no. He's not interested in all of that. You need appointments so that whenever the money allocated for any of these positions arrives, right? They will be the one to take it on behalf of the Robo people. You don't know? When you see the Northerners and say, we have been marginalized, thiefnubu is giving appointment to his people. To them, right? It simply means that those of them, right? Those of them who are Northerners, Fulani, Muslims, I don't know, like that, like they use the card all the time. Yeah, you play the card. This one is for the North. This one is for the South. This one is for this. This one is for that. So Yoruba people, like, the guy is like, why can't I get that same treatment? I'm Yoruba. I have oil. So why can't we also be appointed, Yoruba people appointed into all these positions? It's not all about development. It is about their own development. And that's why they have the NNPC, I mean, so the NDDC. And he wanted a point. He said, NNPC has 52 board members. So the 36 of them is from the North. And then 26 of them, I say, Allah, calm down. Okay? So it is all about the sharing formula. But waiting when I want to even the share self, don't that one self don't explode. I don't know if you have read the headline this evening. NNPC Nigeria declares state of emergency on oil production in Nigeria. Does that make any sense to you? Okay. That's the headline. NNPC declares state of emergency on oil production. What does that even mean? I'll tell you what they are practically trying to bulaba the people with. It's absolute nonsense to start with, okay? But another, like, they are using nonsense to cover up a serious situation, okay? These guys were telling everybody that under thiefnubu, oil production has improved from 900,000 barrels a day under Bukwari. Now, they call under thiefnubu, oil production has increased to 1.8 million barrels a day. And you know that if the people you are lying to, if they don't know that you are lying to them, you that is telling the lie, you will know, you know you are lying. There is this analogy. I will repeat it 1 million times because it is very good for this analysis. A boy who went to the farm with his father. And while they were walking on the farm, the young man screamed, I found a snail. His father told him to keep it. We will use it to appease your creator when we get home. He repeated the same lie. Well, he repeated the same shout 4 more times. And at every shout, he said he discovered the biggest snail. The next one, the biggest one. The next one is the biggest, you know? And the father was like, lucky you. Your creator must be behind you. Success must have been your own portion. And that is why you have been seeing those big snails. We will use the biggest one to appease your own creator. Sort of like tradition. So they got home at night. The father had his meal, had his that before he was going to go to his bed, like relaxing it into his chamber. He just remembered. And he called out his son. Son, come here. Before I kind of crash into my bed, I need you to go and bring the biggest of all those snails you found so that I can pray for you. And then the boy looked back and laughed. I said, oh, Papa, I was only deceiving you. I didn't see any snail. Oh, I was deceiving you. And the father, with so much disappointment all over his face, looked at him. No, you are not deceiving me. You didn't deceive me. You actually deceived your creator. You will deal with that. That's the story of this thiefnubu and all these propagandas. Refinery, Warri Refinery, Kaduna Refinery, Port Harcourt Refinery. They are going to start operation by December. Now, people are now aware that no, they didn't tell them which year. Dangote Refinery is going to start operation in July. A lot of you have not been paying attention, except the media that is putting the year. These guys never put year. If they tell you Dangote Refinery is going to start operation by the end of July, it doesn't mean that's going to be next one. If it be the end of July of 2030. You see all these lies. So they kept publishing that they have now increased oil production in Nigeria. And if you say you increase oil production, nobody say now increase money be that. So that was the problem. Now it has now come to the public. Not now, it's always been a lie that we kind of knew, right? So it has now come to the public, even through them, that so they say, oh yeah, come and do the account of how many 1.8 million barrels, 1.8 million barrels. You're like that, right? 1.8 million times 11 months. That would be minus 20% minus, and then a 46% for us. So that should be that Nigeria must have made so amount of billions. NNPC, could you please come and tell us where is that money you made from 1.8 million barrels of crude oil every day in the last 10 months? So Wahala started. No, we didn't say 1.8. That's when the story started changing. No, we didn't. We said we projected 1.8. And under the leadership of President thiefnubu, we have made so much progress. We are now, before President thiefnubu, Nigeria has been suffering from the losses of oil production because they were stealing the crude oil. Nigeria was losing 700,000 barrels of crude oil every day. You know that, Abi? They say yes. Alaye answered the question. Say, so what do you mean by you are not producing 1.8? Well, you actually said that you have been, 3 months back, you said Nigeria has improved oil production to 1.8. And that's what that's Kyari now. I said that's why he was trying to explain to us. Okay, continue. So Kyari was like, yes, when thiefnubu came in, Nigeria was producing 950,000 barrels. Okay, I heard that before. So now when the improvement of thiefnubu's policy, that's the one we want to. How much are you producing now? If you are not producing 1.8, what are you producing every day in the last 10 months? My answer is 960,000. Abolori Blukuni Kiari. That's the reaction, no? Are you actually being serious? Say that again. The improved oil production in Nigeria since thiefnubu came in and stopped those who are stealing crude oil. Abi, what is that again? That's what I'm saying. It's a tremendous work. You don't understand. Nigeria was collapsed. But because of thiefnubu, you see, the oil theft has reduced. That's why they are declared state of emergency on oil production in Nigeria. Can you hear me? What does that even mean? What happened is this. They have been lying to you, trying to print money. Where they have been printing money, borrowing money to cover up all the lies. I don't think they can sustain it. So they just have to create another lie that will make you look like, hey, we just discovered that the 700,000 barrels of crude oil that they were stealing under Boko Haram. My dear brethren, ladies and gentlemen, those who were stealing the Nigeria crude oil under the Bokwari, they are still in business under thiefnubu. And the proceeds from all this stolen crude oil, thiefnubu and his gang, including Bokwari, they do know where the money goes to. They do know. But they are lying to you. Now, Kyari has come out to say, NNPC has to declare a state of emergency. They declared a state of emergency on agriculture in July 2023. Have you forgotten? No, I haven't. Problem. I know they forget. Now, one thing will lead to another, and I would just like, it's been over a year. Well, it's almost a year now. How far with the state of emergency on agriculture? How far? Now, they've declared a state of emergency on petroleum when Bill Gates and his own foundation are doing everything possible to begin to give you cows grown in the lab. Bill Gates and his money. GMO cows. Scientist Bill Gates. A place where you have roads. Your Minister of Agriculture is promoting GMO. He's so proud to be associated with that because it's going to end hunger. Now, the person will bring GMO to Nigeria is going to bring you the cows. Maybe that's going to work. That will be what will end your Fulani terrorism, Abi. I don't know. I'm just saying, because according to Bill Gates, cows are contributing something to the carbon dioxide. So the best way is to create the cows from the lab. Like they are creating the seeds that you are currently planting, and there is nobody in the government of Nigeria, right, to actually put Nigerians on the alert so that they will have the choice. In the UK, the GMO, lab-grown seed and all of that food, they have them partially and well controlled in the UK, and the public is very much aware of what they look like. Many of you don't, and that's what it's going to look like when they bring the cows too. Listen to the kind of cow they are bringing to you. Lab, third world country. The world is rigged against us.
The atmosphere now is caused by the electricity grid, which is about 25% or so.
Exactly.
So 24%, it comes from agriculture and forestry. Why is that causing such a big increase in carbon?
Cows and other grass-eating species have a digestion system that emits methane. And methane is a very powerful greenhouse gas. And so cows alone account for about 6% of global emissions. And so we need to change cows, just cows alone.
How are we going to do that?
Well, actually, of all the categories, the one that has gone better than I would have expected 5 years ago is this work to make what's called artificial meat. And so you have people like Impossible or Beyond Meat, both of which I invested in.
You eat it as well, and you like it?
Absolutely.
You do.
You can go to Burger King and buy the Impossible Burger.
All right. Is it healthier for you or just healthier for the atmosphere?
It's slightly healthier for you in terms of less cholesterol. It's, of course, dramatic reduction in methane emissions, animal cruelty, manure management, and the pressure that meat consumption puts on land use. The main reason why we need to increase the agricultural output over the rest of this century is not the population increase. It's that as countries get richer, they eat more meat, and meat is a very inefficient way of creating calories.
The atmosphere now is caused by the electricity grid.
I know. But at least you would have the choice. Somebody said that's what we have been eating in the Western world. That's not true. And this is how sometimes people say things that are not true. But they are convinced because somehow, I don't know if it is a trust issue or something, right? So you are living in a place where they indeed, yes, they have all numerous of all the nonsense that they put around, but at the same time, you want fresh fruits, fresh food, fresh meat. How can you say that's what we are eating all over here? Even me, where they eat to buffet for yourself. I tell you where farms, where they kill them and where they bring them from. So you need to know what you are eating. That's one thing we have the privilege of here. You will know what you are eating. Yeah. So anyway, I sort of noticed some, what do you call it? Some Rugbodinho again on YouTube. So I have put One True Emperor temporarily on a timeout. But there is something I kind of want you to know. And it seems that we shouldn't be going away from it. I know some of us probably can be very like raunchy and all of that, raunchy and all of that. And let me tell you something, okay? You have to respect the people's, whatever it is, their views. You can disagree with people however you like. So One True Emperor, don't call anybody on this platform slave, okay? And don't ever use general word on people here anymore. There is some level of, there is some level of community that this place is. That we are here all the time doesn't mean that we agree on everything. A lot of you probably disagrees with me on so many times, you are not always going to be agreeing with me. But you will do so respectfully because I can disagree with you too. So that's the kind of community we are building. I don't want a place whereby all of you will turn yourself to keypad warriors, attacking everyone just because of what they have to say. There's a reminder I need to give to you all. And I am a very good example of why this works. Okay? I am somebody who strongly believe, right, in the peaceful breakup of Nigeria. Just let's go our separate ways. You know that 100%. I am also an advocate of trying to understand other people who feels like their own solution is probably the way out. Sometimes you have to wait them out. You don't have to agree with them. You don't call people names, just, I think it's that time I actually act stronger on that now. Okay? So please, I want you to kind of respect one another that way. Disagree all you like. I disagree with you, princess. No, I don't believe that. But proceed and say why you don't. Make it more. You see, there are people who are not typing like all of you. They're just seated there watching. And your comments are popping up on their screens. Don't make this place a toxic one, okay? And I told you, right? Remember this, so. If somehow you won't live like that, you won't respect people for what they believe in, right? The reason why all of us are here is simply because we all have one or two things that we completely disagree with in this current contraption. So don't be close-minded. Don't call people slaves simply because somehow they choose to believe that the Nigeria can still work. So please, it is very important, okay? Because that's how they start. And before you know it, you're going to be scaring people away. No, I'm not going to go there. That guy can just bounce on me now. Or that person they can all just bounce on me and start, I've told you it's a very clear rule. The only people who have no single right here, I'm very clear about that, are those who are the Abobakus. Anybody speaking for thiefnubu, APC, Egbekegbe, or PDP on this platform, do whatever you like with them. How dare them come here to come and do what? To come and convince us that that we should pray for the rogues who we know all of their intentions. So those are the only people and you can specifically call them out. Others, stay in your seat and just know that there are many people watching that are not typing anything. And your fisticuff in that comment There's a lot of distraction for them, in case if you don't know. If you put this on your TV, you would know what I'm talking about. The whole comment is popping up on the screen. I won't mind to terminate any relationship or any friend or whatever it is that we might have built together on this platform if you violate my order, if you violate, by any means, if you go against what I say. Okay? Because I call it a melting pot for a reason. And there are so many people that never used to believe that Nigeria actually should be discussing the renegotiation of the entire place. Simply because they got to know more. They were listened to. They asked questions. They engage. It's a community. Those you see on the other side will end up on your side. It is not by just like, firing them that way. I don't like that. All right? So please. So when you see the Igbos, when you see everybody from all over Nigeria on this platform, I try my best to address this gathering in a much, much neutral form, whereby we all kind of will know where we belong in the whole scheme of things, okay? People will say things that could be annoying, all right? So if somebody comes and abuses anybody here, all of you can go after them or get rid of them. That's why you have all your spanners. Be role models, okay? And don't let them think, some of you here are also hairheads. The hairheads. Those people that are just like, I can't tolerate. I don't know how you are doing it, Mayegun. Then try and learn it. Try. And see how kind of easier. It kind of will make you more powerful. I'm not talking about power over people. No. It makes you powerful in handling even things that ordinarily should be out of hand. Sometimes if you just kind of like, I spent all of that time just to let you know how valuable every one of you is to me and to this platform. So don't try to make it toxic. Disagree with people. Tell them I disagree with you. I don't agree with what you said. This is why. Don't go about and say, I don't like when foolish people are, I don't like when you say no. Some of you call in here, including you, One True Emperor, Martinelli and others. I'm calling you out because you are prominent here. You are becoming kind of like a, role model somehow that some people probably would love to listen to or hear from. So don't abuse that in a way that people will begin to feel like, because you don't want to feel like that, do you? So please, settle the princess and the rest of you, right? I want you to kind of take charge. And then you are all adults here. Nobody go beat anybody. It's true. Nobody go beat anybody. Sometimes, right? If we are unable to control how we feel, sometimes it sort of give us up and give a wrong impression of who we are. Some of you are cool guys, cool people. But this Niger matter will make you so paranoid that you will say things. Sometimes you'll be like, oh, I don't mean to say that. I wanted to say, then calm down. At least, Don't let people see you for who you are not, simply because of Niger matter. It's important. Myself, I know they're gentle, but you see me over the years, I realized that I could actually pass my message in a very much coded way without losing much of me, right? At the same time, by letting people actually get what I am trying to say. Please try to. We are trying to kind of win people over, get people to understand why this contraption won't work. When we begin to call them names and come on. So let's go back. We are still in that contraption, Nigeria, okay? So let's take it further. Here is another person who indeed had to stage a walkout because he felt like, I am marginalized too. I have noticed that, Mr. Speaker. This is the National Assembly in Abuja. Let's go there.
My point of order is on personal explanation. Mr. Speaker, I have noticed, with due respect to you, Mr.
You say your point of order is?
Personal explanation. I have noticed, Mr. Speaker, with due respect to you, Mr. Speaker, each time you preside you do not give preference to first-timers. Look at the mover of the motion is a ranking member. Virtually everyone who contributed here were all ranking members. You need to allow for fresh ideas. You need to allow for fresh ideas, Mr. Speaker. Some of us, we know more than the old ranking members. Allow us to speak. I took time to listen. Virtually everyone who contributed here are all ranking members. And this is always what you do. And I don't like it. So if you allow me, I'll make my contribution, Mr. Speaker. You allow me, I'll make my contribution. This matter is very critical to our country.
All right. Sometimes we'll give one per role. So if you happen not to be on that role, when we call for people to raise their hand there, it might elude you. I was also once a first-time member. So and I knew that I was not discriminated against. So let's not make it first-time member or that's not the right way of discussing it. All right, so I want to put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Is Honorable Bello Shehu in the house, please?
So he walked away because even despite his protest of being ignored, they still went on and said, well, that's how it is. I was once, you know, a new member too. So calm down. About won't calm down. He just flung their what do you call it? Their session paper and all of it just flung it and walked out. There's another one that didn't work out. That one is from Kanu. That one is now calling our attention to the insecurity in Nigeria after 80 years of Boko Haram. But it's good. It's there. But now, thiefnubu should answer. Listen.
In the last 1 year that we got inaugurated into this house, there's one too many. Mr. Speaker, I think it's high time. We've had jailbreaks, nobody has been sacked. People are killed, nobody has been sacked. It's high time we find somebody responsible. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, if we don't take any action, it's almost 15 years. And this house that we pride, which I believe we are, the house of the people, the earlier we look for scapegoats, which are justifiable, these guys have not lived up to expectations. The president has said, I've given Northerners this position to defend, your people. That is what he said practically. So now, every single day, we have a minimum of 3 security-related motions, and lives are gone. So I think it's high time we come here as a resolution. Have as a resolution, because we have a lot of these resolutions. I think more than 50% of the resolutions of the 10th Assembly are security-related. So let's find culprits. We have our committees that are living up to expectations. They can research this. They can look at those that have not done what is expected from them, and somebody should be held responsible. In the last 1 year that we got...
It's from Sokoto. I mean, it's all talk, okay? They're talking about it. And that's just going to be the fresh at the kickoff. Right. So, talking about security and insecurity. I don't know if you have seen this. It's coming from Paul Leshe's brother, who is advising thiefnubu. He said he's joining his voice with that of Peter Obi in calling on thiefnubu to let go Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But he added his own extra. He said, like a good luck Egberejo Lantern did for Tompolo. And they turned him into a multi-billionaire in charge of securing the Nigeria's critical infrastructure, the pipeline and the waterways. So Fayoshe's brother is suggesting to thiefnubu that, listen, pretend that all that happened didn't happen now. Cover your face in shame. Well, he didn't say that. That's me. It's just practically saying that, why don't you just settle out of court and let Mazi go and see how the insecurity in Eastern Nigeria will disappear. In fact, you can even give him a deal. I know some of you will be like, they talk like a madman. Maybe you should ignore that. Mine is just let him go. And we will decide what happens next. But he wants him to be turned to a tompolo. Give him the security contract. He's already had the ability of mobilizing the young people to volunteer to protect their land, right? Then just give him the contract in a way that it will empower those people, like, mobilize them and secure Eastern Nigeria, like supposedly Tompolo is doing in Niger Delta. Listen to him.
I am joining His Excellency, former governor of Anambra, Mr. Peter Obi, to call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu has been there for a while now, and he has gotten bail from courts, different courts, and he was never released. I was thinking as soon as our president, His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, I thought he will extend that olive branch to Kanu Nnamdi. I mean, if we look at other people from the north, they were given amnesty. They did worse than him. And I believe if they release Kanu Nnamdi, there will be peace in the southeast. There will be a lot of peace. You'll be able to control the boys. Because if you see all the crimes that are going on in the southeast, they are saying it's because their leader is in detention. I believe that's a smart way to reduce what is going on in the southeast. So I'm joining him to call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu.
You won't need a car to travel. You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say, I want to go to London. And you'll be in London. Whether you believe it or not, the time is coming when you won't need.
Amen. Just say amen. Doesn't matter if you will need it or you won't need it. At least. Yeah, that's him. I don't know. Well, okay, I don't want to pretend that I don't know. I wanted to say, who is he talking about? Who is Kanu Nnamdi? You decrease? But I was like, no. It doesn't matter. Me, I don't care now, right? Every voice that says, let him go. Even if they have to negotiate with the devil, just let him go. You can make up anything, you can try other things and whatever it is, but just let him go. We will deal with the rest of the aftermath of what his future hold. It's not going to be determined by these conditions and all of that. But again, right, you just have to hear that. Okay. The other one is that of, Canary Dino. Canary Dino Melaye or Dino Canary Melaye. It was honored somewhere. I don't know if it's even relevant. I should just go take course, but it's part of the module for tonight. So I'll give you this part of the chart. He was motivating people, talking about his son and all that's okay. But yeah, this part, rather.
Here seated, I have seen senators, seen president's wives, first ladies, I've seen ministers. Please walk towards it. And it comes with discipline. And remember, a court doesn't have discipline. In conclusion, we all are leaders in our little corners. Our leadership style should emphasize the importance of getting things done. We, as pragmatic leaders, should not be goal-oriented and focus on achieving our set targets. I must also encourage the association, Pragmatic Association of Nigeria. I looked at the objectives and associations of the association, and I must say they are commendable. I encourage us to continue working for the betterment of our beloved country, Nigeria, and beyond. Before I round up, if you are interested in the new Nigeria to come, if you are going to participate as a leader in bringing back our long-lost reputation as a country, and you will be part of those who work hard in fixing our country, Nigeria, I'm going to sing one song. That was a song that Martin Luther King sang with the Americans for the Great Mail March to Washington, D.C. in 1963. That great march to Washington, D.C., they sang that song that day, and God catapulted the sun to the celestial. And after that day, racism died in America. Before, you cannot enter a bus that is a mark for the whites. You cannot even take water from the tap of a white environment. But today, as a result of that song and that struggle, a black man became the president of the United States of America. Songs are powerful. Songs are spiritual. They have celestial communication with God. And when you sing them in the right spirit, the heavens are opened and a new order will be made. So if you believe in the Nigeria to come, and you want to be a partaker of working towards that new Nigeria that is to come, you will stand up and sing that song with me. I'm going to sing it once, then we will sing it together, and I will be out of this place. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
Anyway, so that's gonna be May, and then maybe we should take a few calls tonight, okay? And we might be finishing early, but time will tell. So I'll take a short break, okay? And when I get back, we'll start taking calls. So thank you so much, for spending your time with me so far, right? So we've got like another hour to go. I'll be back.
La
you so much and welcome back. So I have my first caller. Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
It's Ifeanyi from Gabon.
Oh, Ifeanyi. How are you this
Yes.
evening?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm very well too. Thanks for asking, Lawa.
Yes. So, anyway, make I go straight to the point. So the thing I want to say is, this GMO thing. The problem is this: GMO is not a problem. GMO, as you say, you say that although they are doing it just for, they are trying to solve world hunger. Actually, that is true. But then, what you saw, the video you played about, what's it called? What's that guy's name? Bill Gates.
Yeah, about cows.
Yeah, yes. He's not talking about that one. He's talking about. It's not about GMO. He's talking about, artificial. You heard him say artificial meat, lab-grown meat. That is when you hear about this beyond this products they sell beyond meat, the plant-based meat. That is.
I think something is actually really wrong with your line. It seems like the number keeps dropping. I've been looking at my screen even before I picked the screen. Is that you still? Yeah. Fine.
Yes. I'm. Yes.
Yeah, I think something
Okay.
is wrong with the line.
Yep.
It kept dropping and cutting off before I picked the call. Anyway, continue. You are
Okay. Okay. So he's talking about the lab grown. The artificial meat made from plants. That is very different from GMO. You understand? Okay. In fact, GMO has been around since the very first time people started practicing agriculture. Now, let me explain.
Please.
For example, the oranges we eat today, all the oranges you eat today, they are all GMO. Every one of them. The real orange, the natural orange, one made by nature, it is bitter, very, very, very bitter. You can't eat it. So they have to do GMO. But does that, or in fact, even bananas, the real bananas, the natural bananas, they are all full of seeds, very hard seeds. You can't eat them. You can't eat them and enjoy them. But then the bananas you eat, even the ones you eat in Nigeria, in Africa, that's GMO too. They don't have. You see those very tiny seeds.
From, or you're just using your.
I did.
You read somewhere, right?
No, I did my own research.
Right, I'm gonna, because maybe I will.
Yes.
Right? You said something. That's why I want to take you up on that. I want to know if you read somewhere or something. Okay. I grew up in Nigeria. We're growing our own food or fruits, and the rest of them, right from the cultivation. So the question I'm going to ask is this: the GMO not being able to be replanted is not true. Is that what you mean? That you can replant?
Okay.
GMO?
See. Yes. Now let me tell you what the thing. The problem here is that is the.
Because that's the only thing. So that's how you probably will be.
But that's where your fear is. Okay.
Go on.
The thing is this. You see, these companies that should I say, produce that particular variety of seed, they did a lot of research. They spent a lot of money to do it. So once they give the seeds to you, or the farmer, you have to sign that you are not going to plant the offspring of that crop. Let's say maize.
Okay.
Why? Because if you plant the offspring of that crop, then they will have to go bankrupt. They will starve. They will lose their money.
Right. So is that why?
So you have to come back, and people don't like that, because if you do that, you are now beholden to those companies. So one day, if you mess up, they're like, okay, I'm not going to sell to you. Then it means you're effed. You're gonna die. You're gonna starve to death.
What you mean now is that let me put it this way, because I just want to try to, you know, understand your perspective, okay? And once I sense that it is misleading in my own way, right? I'm probably just going to have to say, okay, fine, okay, but now let's learn from one another now, okay? So GMO feed, right? You because those who are creating them, okay, they do not want to go bankrupt. So therefore, you have to that's why they make sure that you can replant them. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
In fact,
hang on.
Yes, some farmers.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, maybe I don't want you to miss your point. Okay, continue that one. Then I'll
Okay. So there are some farmers in the United States. They planted, crops. Maybe they didn't know. They were all sued by, for example, Monsanto.
Right.
Monsanto sued them. Sued them into oblivion. So these things are the things that people do not like. So whenever they hear GMO and they, connect one or two together with these lawsuits and all that, they're like, oh no, bad.
So
condemn it.
This is where I'm going to take you on, and I want you to go back and read more from wherever you read that from, okay? Right? Here, you grew up in Nigeria, did you? Like, is that, did you?
Yes, of course I did. Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, I grew up in the village too, okay? And do you know what we were, when we were practicing agriculture? Whenever we plant, the maize we are going to plant this season is from the one from maybe 2 years ago back or last year, Abi? So the yam we are going to plant this season is the one we saved from maybe about 3 years ago. You know that? So all of these things are always coming from the harvest we made from our last farming. And that's how I grew up. And I actually had the most sweetest orange, the most sweetest fruits throughout my childhood. And all of them, majority of them, I participated in their planting. So, if you tell me that, in fact, all the stuff we have been drinking, all the stuff we have been eating, so way that you put it right, like the orange, they were supposed to be, not supposed to be sweet.
Yes.
But the oranges that we have been having, no, maybe it's a statement that you shouldn't have used.
Yes.
All your other
or maybe you don't. Let me say you don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
Let me clear myself, okay? You will. I'll let you speak, okay? Why I'm actually trying to interject you. This is why, all right? Because of your usage of word. You said for years that even all the oranges we have and the rest of them, they have been GMOs. Because the original oranges are not sweet, including a few other things you mentioned.
They are bitter.
Not sweet, and I disagree with that. I don't know your childhood.
Okay.
I'm talking about mine. So
okay.
GMO is
now let me tell you something.
Right? That statement is wrong, or maybe other things are right.
No, I didn't say GMO is not replantable. Okay. They are the offspring are replantable. It's just that the company, this maize, for example, when they do it, it's still under patent. This is corporate world. It is still under patent. So once the patent
or the maize we've always had.
The maize we've always had, those ones are out of patent. So it is free for all.
Okay. So because
that one is free for all. Those ones you can do whatever you want to do with them. But the ones that are still under patent, the people, the patent holders, they are the ones that have the right to tell you what to do or what not to do.
Okay.
So my own is this. There is the problem is not GMO itself. It is, for example, the Nigerian government. They as you said in one of your videos, they major in minority and they minor in majority. They leave the most important thing and start, should I say, somebody whose house is on fire, he's busy chasing rats. You understand? That's what I'm talking about.
It's just like
the solution to our agricultural problem is security, and industrialize it. Not just go and bring GMO. It's just propaganda.
See.
You understand?
Okay.
And Bill Gates himself is a wicked man. Yes, that one I agree. He's a very stupid man. I will not say otherwise. Nobody likes him.
Fine.
I don't like him either.
Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah,
so that's all I wanted to say.
Right? You know, a lot of people listening to us as well are going to probably be like, there are those who are going to agree, there are those who are not going to agree. Or it's also helpful.
Yeah, no problem. Everybody can agree, can disagree. No wahala.
That's normal, right?
Okay, thank you.
Stay safe, man. Now, I got you. Hello.
Yeah, one name.
One name.
One name. Agujebe.
That is me. Osita.
Anyway,
how are you this evening, sir?
I'm good. I'm great. I never wanted to call in, but I was thinking of just listening. But then I had to call in because sometimes what I do not appreciate as a human being is misinformation. I wish I have this previous caller. I have his number. I wish you could give him my number or give me his number, so that me and him can sit down at length.
Privacy rule will prevent me from
that. No, I know. I said I wish. I didn't say you should.
Okay then.
So because somebody needs to sit down with him and have a basic discussion on this particular subject before he starts continue to tell people what is not true and what is true. Okay. I mean, what is not true and what will never be the truth. You should first of all understand the meaning of GMO. First, that is the most important thing. When you understand the meaning of GMO, then you can now make your own reservation, because the reservation, the studies that he said that he made, he probably was reading from the mainstream ideologists or theorists who are supporting this GMO that is not going to tell you. It's just like when you are taking tobacco and somebody tell you that tobacco is you can smoke Igbo is good for. It's not, Igbo is not bad. That is bad. There are good ones and bad ones, and they are not telling you the killer instinct of what you are taking in. So when he's talking about GMO, no meat was made from this thing. If you go deep on your research, you find out that those meats that they are making it from the feces of rats and whatever. They are making they are making chicken, they are making fowl, they are making birds from the feces of other animals. Physics is what I'm talking about. Igbo people call it shin. So what he doesn't understand is that he is reading from one particular point of view. If you want to understand this thing they call GMO or any theory, you look at the anti and you look at the pros. By the time you add the pros and the anti together, then you'll be able to understand the one that is the truth. So when you are saying it, you are not going to mislead yourself to mislead other people. An official of the agricultural department, a big time official, I think is the Minister of Agriculture in one of the Central African country. I don't know if it is Kenya or Ethiopia. When he was talking about it, that man said everything. When you listen to that man and go and make your own reservation, you will understand. The person I am talking to now is the last caller I'm talking to. You will understand what the GMO is all about. When somebody tells you that, that the reason we are doing this thing is because of hunger, who told you that there's hunger in the land? But it's because of you misuse the land, because of you want to control human being, you want to control the world, you want to control the commerce, you want to control the industrialization, you want to put the education of people, just human control. That is the reason for this thing they are doing. They are not doing it because of any other thing. It's because of human control. They can control human being and they can control the economy.
Control the world.
Yes, control the world. So that is the reason they are doing this thing.
So that they can tell the people that have been growing their own food for centuries that they can't do that anymore. That food they have been growing for centuries can no longer sustain them anymore. Except the new one they'll be introduced to. Like, come on.
That is crazy. When you go to some of our villages in Africa, I am so sure those things that we see those days when we were young. I remember when I was in primary school, we go to the village. I would see my grandmother. She has her yam bank. You will still see banks.
You know what I mean? I grew up eating all kinds of fruits, and I can tell you which one is ripe enough, which that's going to be very, very sour. I'll tell you the one that is already ripe. That's going to be so sweet. Mangoes, right? Osita, we go see. Have you forgotten it? We squeeze mango, and then the mango, what do you call it? The mango seed. You plant it and you watch it, sprout out of the ground. You don't plant mango, be that. That's not GMO. Somebody now tells me that our fruits were always bitter. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Please, he needs to study again and come back. When he do his study and come back, he should be able to tell us the truth. But what he's telling us now,
I think what I picked, Osita, I think what I picked from what Ifeanyi said is this: that yes, we may have all our reservation about GMO this or GMO that or what have you, right? But the real problem is that the insecurity, even if we plant GMO, people will still be hungry and they will still destroy them one day if the insecurity continues. Well, I just want him to play down.
I want to remind you of something
associated with it.
I want to remind you of something. I sent you a video.
You might need to kind of keep the phone closer to your mouth, or I don't know what.
No, I sent you a video. I sent you a video last week. Yes, I sent you a video last week.
Right.
That video, the content of that video was laboratory birds that they made.
And they it on this platform. Have you forgotten the chicken and the beef?
Exactly. So when you look at that video, what was the ball of contention of that particular thing? They said, oh, they want to send it to Africa.
To Africa.
They mentioned Nigeria.
Yes.
Nigeria was mentioned in that video specifically.
Yes.
And they said they were going to send it to Nigeria because it's hot. Is Nigeria the hottest place? Why didn't they send it to Saudi Arabia? That is all those hot places. They didn't send it to Saudi Arabia. They didn't send it to Dubai. Yes.
Or send it to
Mexico.
Those places
or to Brazil. Even in America, where I live, it is so hot. They didn't send it to America, but it's in Nigeria that they're going to send it. And you are telling me that they don't have a plan. No, they have a plan. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Here is another caller on the line. Hello. Did I even get you? Oh, I didn't. Okay, I'll take you again. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, you are connected. Can you hear me? That's very
hello.
I wanted to say that's very unusual. Like, did you just dial your phone and you just put it down? Like, okay, I'll wait if I hear something.
No. I was trying to also get you because it's rather difficult to get you sometimes.
I know. A lot of you are tensioning yourselves in that place, Anyway,
I know.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm very well, I'm here.
Well done, for all your hard work.
Thank you. All of them should just make the work show. Any small thing when I don't put.
No, I paid my offering. I don't even, as in once I enter the chat, that's it. You don't have to tell me. God bless you. Anyway. So let me encourage every other person to please, press the like button. Let's help my ego go viral. But that's not to say I don't think you're going viral, because even the person not Osita, the previous caller, listening to him, it's clear that your message is going far and wide. Because I know when you started talking about the whole GMO and everything, a lot of people, they started talking about it. Princess, said her own bit and everything. So it's clear that you're definitely reaching a wider audience. We just hope that people are getting free. They are trying to remove their shackles from their necks and their shoulders and their legs so that they can start doing what is needful. Not this, celebrity banter that we keep, back and forth about. That's not important. That's not what's important. Now, I wasn't going to call today, to be honest, because I just feel like, let me just be a listener, listening and learning from Maigo and from every other person. And others, exactly. But you see this GMO business, especially this man, the first person that called and said the original banana, because I've heard that story before, how the original banana is full of seeds and you can't eat. I said, the original banana from whose land? Exactly.
Exactly.
Because it cannot be from it cannot be from the one that we grew up with in Nigeria.
Chavo, we grew up with all different species of banana.
With all different species. Listen, I was born and raised in Lagos, but every holiday, right, and every like New Year fest, we will travel to the east. Okay, so when we leave Lagos, you know the banana you even buy from Lagos. As you're traveling, you go to Ore, you buy banana. You say, this is the banana from Ore. When you get to the southeast, you say, this is the banana from the southeast. So what are you talking about? You know, as like a point
that's
that
how I
made,
sat down
right?
here. See, I sat here and I was just like staring, like, okay, maybe it's just a misuse of word. You know, sometimes we say things that is not actually what we wanted it to. You know what I mean? Like, remember that yesterday? Was it yesterday or 2 days ago when a Templar here called and he said, "Oh, we have so much. I'm Igbo and I'm from Edo State. We have so much in this."
Oh, yes,
okay,
yes.
I was interested. Then he was like, okay, our rappers, our this, our that. I was like, okay, which part of Edo particularly so that people will know who you are talking to? They said, do you all Edo? I said, bros.
No, can't be the whole of Edo State.
You have to like, share you get me now.
Yeah.
So when somebody says, my childhood is not a fairy tale. I grew up in Egypt. I farmed. So if somebody else says, I'm like, no, that can't be.
No. Listen, Maego, I know exactly where he got his argument from. I've heard that person say the same thing. So when he said it, he said, this is like for like, I know where he's coming from. I know whose page and channel he went to. So I know where he's coming from. And I said, listen, right, this person is talking about, how, you know, from time immemorial, people have done things to improve the quality of fruits and things like that. I'm not going to discount that because agriculture we do that, you know, to improve the quality, longevity of this thing, but not necessarily the way it has always been. You can't come and tell me from Africa who grew up in Nigeria that the banana that I've been eating since I was, 40 odd years ago is GMO. No, it's not GMO. You know, it's that story that
we know that GMO simply means genetically modified organism. You don't even know what organism is.
You don't even know what the organism is. The problem is that a lot of people try to, and whether they know it or not, whether they are they're conscious of it or not, they idolize science. They think the science is the be all and end all. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Science is not the be all and end all. Science is the result of multiple errors that they finally found. Oh, one, eureka, it works. Right? So if you start to understand that, then you'll be a bit fearful. You'll be a bit cautious with regards to things like food that you eat that have been genetically modified, because what about if they got something wrong somewhere, right? Because again, they haven't tested like the outcome of you eating genetically modified organisms for, let's say, 10 years, or not even 10 years. Let's say, okay, a child who started eating genetically modified foods, right? Let us check the quality of life of that child maybe 10 years from now. Let us see what those genetically modified organisms are doing in that child's body, whether or not they are doing the exact same thing that food that haven't been genetically modified, right? What the impact is. They haven't done. No,
they have done it. So let me help you, okay? And after this call, right, I want you to please read more. And their findings, right, they have seen it in the system of people and places where people are more kind of exposed to eating this kind of food, right? And according to them, a lot of people were normal. It was like normal, okay? But you see, out of the outliers, including, especially in children, they discovered that adults who have actually had to eat this GMO food in a span space of over 5 years, they have become, what do you call that? Infertile. Some of them, some women have become infertile that they couldn't really conceive. Men have had low sperm count, right? Then they've said that they've taken people's blood test, where they found that there has been some alteration in their DNA, somehow. Now, but the reason why they keep pushing it is that it is not massive and it can get better. It's over.
Okay, so what they want is experience.
All those things don't really matter anymore. They found out that people go, they born Down syndrome children simply because they are consuming this. They are already evidence there,
genetically modified.
They are only saying that it is not massive. That people can still survive eating them.
Okay, so maybe I need to do some more of my own research and yes, but like I said, because I'm a student of science and I know that science is not absolute, right? It can get it wrong sometimes. And I think what we are kind of like on the same page. I'm saying that the impact of ingesting or eating this genetically modified organism outweigh, right, the benefits that they're trying to tell us about, right? And another thing is that if they're being across the board, if they're being fair, then you don't go to governments. Why don't you, as a business, come and talk to the farmers in all of these countries, right? Tell them what the benefits of, buying this, what they call it, genetically modified goods are, right? And then let it be their choice to decide whether or not they want to take your goods. But then when you now go over them and go to the government and say, a mandate, and then the government has to mandate them to use it, right, to their own detriment, then I feel like
they are not doing it for
free. Exactly. You have to bribe them. You have to do all of these nefarious things just to ensure that these people use your genetically modified seeds and everything. Then it tells me that your intentions are not pure at the end of the day. And then if you say that, okay, just a few people will have all of these things, you and I know that when the government say that they're here to help you, they're not really there to help you. They're there to help themselves. And I will always use the example of COVID. When people talked about the vaccine, as telling people to be cautious, at the end of the day, I personally felt that even though you wanted people to use the vaccine, do not mandate it. Let it be optional. Let it be a choice that you are making for yourself, at the end of the day, as opposed to saying, no, if you don't take it, you can't go here, you can't go there, you can't do this, and you can't do the other, right? That was a bit authoritarian at the end of the day. And then it turns out that these vaccines actually do have, what they call it, there were people with vaccine injuries and things like that. It's all over the place now. But the pharmaceutical companies have been giving that whole blanket,
and they probably moved on to something else now.
And you can't sue them, because that was part of the things that covered them that year when they did the vaccine, was that you cannot sue them. I guess that there are some people that will be able to sue them now, but I know that generally they said you can't sue them. So because I know that science is not absolute, you can't just tell people, oh, go and plant these GMO seeds, and then you have people like the first caller come in and say things like, oh, the initial fruits that we had were not, the oranges that we had, and no, that is just
so as to
stories
convince us and make it look like,
exactly,
so we've been eating it all this while. No, we have not.
No, we have not. We've always eaten what was natural to our own environment and geographical region. So don't come and tell us stories. Like you said, my childhood was not a fairy tale, and I'm sure your own childhood was not a fairy tale. Nobody had to give our people. People make this, come and say all these things. Our people were not dying, please. They were not dying before the advent of the Oyibo. We were here surviving generations upon generations without genetically modified food.
I didn't know anything about cancer, because people I grew up with, right? They didn't have all kind of ailments and sicknesses that I grew up to now know now. Seriously, Charm.
Exactly.
They're like trying to socially condition us and make it look like, oh, we're all going to die anyway. Just take it. No.
No, I want to die on my own terms. Yes. I don't want to have to die because of something that you've given to me that if I was given the choice, I wouldn't have to take. So let me die on my own terms. Let me go out there, let lightning strike me, and let me die. Let me know that that's what killed me. No, but don't come and give me, genetic body. It's not too much. My dear, well done for all your work. Please carry on.
Yes,
we are behind you.
And I'm going to miss all of you, because after tonight, you won't be seeing me again until Friday or Saturday, right? But
I am so absolute. We'll see you now. We'll see you soon.
I know you'll see me soon anyway. Bless you. So here is another caller though. We still have, let me see. I think we still have just about 50 minutes to go. So we'll take this. Hello there.
Oh, Mr. Marigon, good evening. This is Older.
Older, how are you this evening, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine.
So Older,
it's just a quick.
Yes, please.
Yeah, let me quickly go to the point. The point I want to make is just about the video you showed earlier today about the bad roads.
The terrible state of Ogun State roads.
Yeah, Yes, and like we have it all across Nigeria that way. So my opinion is that, or would I say, you know, my kind of idea just came up into my head as why can't one kind of set up young people who are willing to to embark on exposing this type of state of disrepair of every even primary medical uh, roads and all like that. If if we take it upon ourselves, that, okay, okay, now if I will be traveling to Nigeria now, of course I'm going to get a nice drone and some equipment that in my area I will expose all this and then put it on online or even send it
Send them to
to
me
you
to,
or something like that.
to all the
And
platforms you have
then
connection with.
yes,
Mm.
yes, and then it has to be specifically like one have to be, you know, these politicians and these liars, they are so ambiguous. Sometimes they will say things that intend to make to make sense, but the true fact, the true sense of it is that they don't normally make sense because we don't know what they are talking about, right? They just say something in a vaguely way, right? And then if things are not well documented, like when a video is taken of a road, that okay, this road leads from A to B, the name of that road, the date that it was taken, right? And then post it online. If we can embark on that, everyone uses all
Like everybody should use
our
their
resources.
phones to at
Yes, and then you
least
say this is yes,
post the
this is Ogun.
dilapidated structures in your area,
Yes,
whether it is road or health center or
whether
school. Like
school,
take the pictures and put it
school,
online. Tell people where it is. If you are too
yes,
afraid, because they may come for you,
they
send
will,
them to platforms and say, "Oh, can you help me post this? It's my area,"
yeah,
and all of that. The rest of people will pick it
they,
from there and they will share them. You are right. That's why I give kudos
yeah,
to those people who decided,
yes,
because when that girl was posting the videos of the terrible roads she's been to in Ogun State, right? They said she's attacking the governor, that she's trying to, make the Yorubas hate their governor. How can somebody from Jos, you know what happened? People from Ogun State, they started posting the videos and all of the pictures of their areas. The one I brought some of them to us this afternoon, right? And they said, is
yeah.
this the attack on the governor? Is posting the
These are fascists.
videos and pictures an attack on the
Mm,
governor? Is this what you call an
yes,
attack? And indeed, all these paid sellers, I don't know how they did it, they disappeared. So why can't
exactly.
people do
So
that
this
all
is,
over the country? All of you have
yeah,
your
of course.
phones, right?
Yeah, we just need to encourage. We need to enlighten them, encourage them, and
Be
tell
the
them
news, exactly.
the
Be the news you want the world
yeah,
to see. Let everybody see what's going on
yeah,
in your area. You just don't know what attention this is going to attract and possibly end your misery. You're right, Obaba, and they are
yeah,
hearing us.
yeah. To be honest, it's a good thing because you can from there be a content creator. Just create disrepair things, abandoned projects, or even ordinary primary care, health care in your community. Go around there, take pictures. I mean, not just picture, video, short clips, not video, because they will come around and argue that picture. They say, "Oh no, this is
It's old.
picture
It's
or
outdated. You
photoshopping."
wait. You first post them the
Photoshopping.
pictures.
So
You let them say
yes, because they
deny
are
it.
so
You let them deny.
yeah, sorry
Then
to,
you now post the
yeah,
video.
sorry to, yeah. Sorry to say that they are full of shit, and it is true. They are full of God knows. These people are just not credible at all. This genetic modify whatever they're talking about is a way of distracting everybody. Now we're talking about this now. Why can't we face this government that doesn't have any good thing to offer? Get rid of them. Whenever a good governance comes up, they will find a way out of it. A good governance is about the people. It's about patriotism. It's about care about people. It's not about this lying, gangsters, these fascist ideas. This is even worse than fascist. These are proper hyenas, and we are enabling it. Everybody, we are part of this thing. We are enabling it. If you can't say no, no matter how small you are, if you can't say no to all these things, there's no way this will change.
Right, do you now
Then
have a,
the only way we can
citizen rights that you actually do not have a
yeah,
say?
yeah,
What right
they are
do you
lying.
now say they have if you have no say in what happened in your country, even to you?
Yeah.
Get rid of them. I agree.
So
But I agree.
it's better to die, die struggling to stand on. I'm on.
Sorry, I think the
Yeah.
broadcast itself is
Yeah.
playing in
Sorry.
the background, yeah?
Yeah. Sorry about this. It's just that if it doesn't make any sense to live like a slave, yeah, and then begging for arms from all this these demigods, right? These are just people who just make themselves to become relevant. They make themselves to become important, whereas they are nothing. Because the true, what makes you to be relevant to be something is your good doing. It's when you've done good, when you've gone good thing. But these ones are idiots. They are serving their gods. They are the to Tinubu and them and all like that. These people are useless. Apabio is useless. These are just old idiots. They don't even want to allow young people to have say.
It's a shame,
They
isn't
think is this old idiot. Yes, honestly. Anyway, I don't have much to say today.
Thanks
I
so
will
much.
call
Okay, let
some
me
other
take
time.
another
Thank you
one,
for
right?
listening. Thank you,
Thanks so much.
and then thank you for.
God bless you. So that's Old Up from Leeds here in the UK. So I just want to quickly remind us that we only have just about 40 minutes to go. And if you haven't really shared or liked this broadcast, do that now before you completely forget. Hello there.
Hello, dear my general. Good evening to you,
The
sir.
African Wahala. The Prince, how are you this evening?
I'm doing very well, brother.
Grant.
I wanted to pass some information that I have. It's not classified like Dr. Agbade brings his classified information. This is something that I found on, just doing some research about artificial meat and artificial chicken. So the three largest artificial meat companies in the world are located in the United States of America. One of them is called Good Meats, and one of its major shareholders is Bill Gates. Now, they have been lobbying for the past 3 years, since 2021, to mostly Western countries, especially Western countries that are controlled by far-right liberals, the people that constantly yap about climate change. So one of the ways they are going to impose the consumption of artificial meats that are generated from cultured cells in the laboratory is that they will tell the government that one of the ways to minimize the effects of climate change from the farming of cows and all these other animals is to generate these foods in the laboratory, and wealthy countries would have to implement it first. I actually read somewhere, but I couldn't find the exact link. If I find a link, I would share it with everybody on the platform. It says we are going to make sure that Western countries will be the first to implement this new food world order because it's beneficial to climate, to the planet. That's how we can save the world. And we know that unfortunately, where we are from, I love where I'm from. I love Africa. if I was to come back to this world, if I had a second chance, I will choose to be an African again. But it's just unfortunate. For example, the contraption that I found myself trapped in, it has been under the control of slaves of these Western countries. And we heard them talking about climate change is the reason why Fulani terrorists are killing people in the South. Climate change is the reason why there is farmers' herders crisis. And we all know that's it's fake news. It's fake news. But these guys, once they present them this option of artificial meat, 1000% guarantee they are going to jump on the offer. And they are going to jump on the offer with the mindset that, okay, you know, we, the so-called elites, we, the dirty elites that drive Lamborghinis on rubbish roads, we will continue eating organic food, but the masses will consume those artificially produced meats. And there is nothing we can do about it. So I said all of that to say this.
Our own supply of fresh food, fresh meat, natural food, and all of that, then you can feed the whole population with whatever you want. Can you guarantee that we will get fresh? So you will guarantee, we can guarantee you. But they said because cows are fatting, that is why this climate is changing. Cows are fatting. Fat is contributing to climate change.
What's craziest? What's mad fast to say? We know even we say we'll be Africans. Yeah. We know even get mouths. We know level. So anything they offer us, we must take. The only way that we can stop that from happening is if we can find a way to get rid of their collaborators. These evil APC, PDP, LP, all of them, all these terrorists. Mm-hmm. That's the only way. Now, secondly, I just had to bring people's consciousness to that. Now I'm going to end this with on a lighter note. This afternoon, you said something about Ogun State roads. You know, when you drive around, the roads have become worse than they were years ago, which is opposite of what happens around the world. Things are supposed to get better. For example, the last time that I checked Google Maps on my grandfather's street in Ijabodi, it wasn't on Google Maps. That might have been like 2016, thereabout. So I checked that same street about 2 months ago, and I realized that Google had driven through that street in 2022. You could see my grandfather's street on Google Maps. Guess what, Mayegu? You know, so when we did in the 90s, then those days where we would travel for Elia, every wherever, still get small quota. With plenty potholes. Now on a brown road, no more quota there.
Everything is wiped off. It's just dusty now.
Everything don't clear, come out. And they go celebrate that Elia, those people. So me, I don't know what's be our problem. We get serious. In fact, make I just round up the conversation. My people, just help us click on the like button, subscribe to the channel. You know, it's an opportunity for people like me to rant and express some of my frustrations. Thank you for listening.
God bless you.
Thank you, Mayukun General.
Yeah, so that's our own, the African Wahala. God bless you. When you mentioned that Google Map and the rest, right? I kind of feel tempted. Okay, give me a second. Let me take this. I hope I got to you, hopefully, right? So I am putting something on just because I want to go and see Djibouti. And then there is one where we have... I mean, you can easily tell, you know, okay, let me show you because I have it on my screen. Okay, let me share the screen with you. Where is that? 1 second, right? Just 1 sec. So it is Djibouti. So you put it in the Google Art, okay, and then I will show you Djibouti from the satellite up there picking it. But the street view is the one the African Wala is talking about. Street view will take you straight into but this is Djibouti, the capital of Ijebu land. Now, a lot of people are from Ijebu. You can easily just take a look at the inner roads. Okay, take a look at some of the inner roads there, right? These are like some of the roads you see inside this thing there. They're not there again, oh. Are you with me? So the roof, I think that's this is Lagos, sorry, Shagamu the new expressway. I think that one is this, in this middle. That looks like it's a road. But you see all these ones, you see the adjoining ones. If you open them closer, where's that street view again? Oh, let's see. 1 sec. There is one that could actually take me to the streets. And you can see it up close, okay? This is when you try to see it close. So the videos you got to, you saw on the Mayegun's Diary Political today. The latest, okay? But you see all these pictures, all these streets in Ijabode. This is Ijabode, right? And this is probably like a 2-3 years ago or so image, okay? So when you look at some of the roads, you can easily tell that some of them have already been wiped off, like totally. I'm not in my collar. I just left you there. Hello there. Are you still there? Oh, no. You had to leave. So let me take another one then. Hello.
Hello, Michael. Good evening. How are you?
Oh, Princess. I'm very well. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. Good evening to everyone. While we were growing up, yeah, did you notice that there is this trend now that we never used to have back then?
What's that?
You see children with cerebral palsy. You see children with Down syndrome. We hardly see them back then. You can have a street of about 15, 20 houses, and you will see just probably 1 or 2 around. But right now, yeah, you can see a mother have 4 of those children. You see children with brittle bones everywhere.
I have heard
You
that
see
people have
abnormally
children with birth defects a lot.
Yes. We never used to have that. Why is that happening? See, sometimes when I see all these gay boys, hey, I want to marry a male like Kineko. I want to marry Kineko because we take a flag show. Yeah. When I see them around, I'm always thinking is the formula they took when they were young. Because while we were young, the rich, the kind of middle class parents that we had,
there was middle
were like,
class. So
yeah, there's always this boasting. Yeah, there's always this boasting. Oúnjẹ wo lọmọ tiẹ̀ ń jẹ? SMA gold ni tèmi ń jẹ. Ṣé NAN ni tiẹ̀ ń jẹ? Àwọn wo ló wà behind SMA gold and NAN?
And what exactly did they mix up in those things?
In the formula to put together. Yeah, can the formula to put together to feed those children at that time. So if they are feeding us and people are having children with Down syndrome and cerebral palsy, and you see children with juvenile diabetes, you see children having sickness, you see PCOS. It is a food chain. And it is a capitalist kind of thing. The capitalist is an individual.
I can't remember this country, Princess, right? I can't remember a particular country, but maybe if I kind of say this story, some people will be able to, pitch it and then remember, right? I think I have had the scandal of a cow and gate scandal in some countries. I don't know if it's Asian countries where they said the type of formula they sold them, right? I don't know if it's cow and gate, but I'm talking about baby milk that they said were pretty much like they were mixed with something that they believe will make all of the children of that generation, they will grow up with different diseases, including infertility and all of that stuff. I can't remember, but if all of you have please.
My ego, I've not even heard this story you're talking about before.
I've heard the scandal like that.
But sometimes I just sit down.
Right?
Yeah, I just sit down and I just sit down and look at these things like, why should you have loads of children trying to identify as this, as that? We never had that problem while growing up. Majority while your love
You know?
We didn't have that issue. And the capitalist kind of chain, yeah? They will if they should take over the food, we are done. Totally done. We are done because when they plant GMO in your land, yeah, and they decide not to give you the seeds anymore. If you try to plant your own seed, it won't grow on that land, Mayego.
That's a fact.
It will not grow on the land. Then when you come up with diseases, it is still the same capitalist that is the owner of big pharma.
You know what somebody told me?
They will be the one.
I think it was you.
Yeah.
If it was you or somebody else. He said, the fact that they said insect, they chop the GMO plants.
Yeah, I said it. Insect don't go near it.
You want me to now chop the product of that thing? I think it was you. Was it you?
And the law of nature, yeah, recognizes the fact that there should be cross-pollination. There should be cross-pollination, the bee taking pollen from one place to the other. Cross-pollination, it has to be there. So even if the insects are not going near it, and you want to feed people with that, you want to feed human beings with that. If we take it in, that's the end of everybody. And I've said it on this program before, Mayegu. You see that World Economic Forum? By 2030, say. I will just say these things and go and relax somewhere. Because I keep thinking about this thing that who gave that man, that is it Plep or what's his name? Who gave him the right to make decisions on my behalf? Who did that? So they will give people, do you know that the wheat they use for our bread in Nigeria has been GMO all along?
The what?
The wheat they use for flour.
They are okay.
Yeah. Yes, and it has been that thing has been here for quite a while now. If you're in the food industry, yeah, you will know what I'm talking about. My parents were in the food industry, and that's where I am too. So you will know GMO wheat has been here for quite a while. Do you understand what I'm saying? So immediately you start falling sick.
They never really cultivated them like they are doing now in Nigeria, but they
are commercializing it now in a very big way. So people are aware of it, but they've been fed with GMO over the years.
Like imported, Abi, because the last time
when
Trump signed a deal, because you see, the reason why I don't like using years and long time as a general statement in this regard is this. There's still some information, okay? They are pointed out at the time how America decided to officially actually sign. Do you know that Bukwari actually signed a deal? Remember that they were going to bring GMO by Donald Trump at the time when he went to go and pay for the Tucano, right? The people just it wasn't this strong about GMO, wasn't this strong.
Because the media didn't throw it out there.
Not like
majority of these things happen, yeah.
So people
the media is a weapon.
Most of this GMO to Nigeria as finished product like apple, banana, and all those.
Like apple, like grapes, seedless grape has been around since forever.
Probably see this is what I'm trying to clear, Princess. Okay, and I'm not trying for us to create a narrative. Okay, I just want to be sure that if it makes sense to say. They cannot have been growing GMO in Nigeria for years for us not to know more about it now. Okay, because
there are a lot of things going on.
No,
there are a lot of things going on in Nigeria, in Africa as a whole that we don't even know about yet. Except when they are bringing it and trying to make it
is argumentative. Okay, it is debatable. There are some things we know.
Majority of our bell peppers are GMOs now, and they've been here since forever.
What do you mean here?
They've been here.
Like they have been planting them.
So when you eat that GMO, yes.
So exactly, they have been importing them to Nigeria before they got to a stage of, because you see the issue of a GMO where it becomes like a thing, right? You said you are in the food industry, no doubt, okay? So I'm talking about there was actually a time that Nigeria actually signed that GMO should be brought to Nigeria under Buhari. I haven't seen if anybody kind of cancel that now. No. Okay. What I'm saying is that the growing of the GMO in Nigeria, if it has been around for so long, that simply means, that simply means the theory of GMO not being replantable. That alone would have made so many land farmers to have told us, I mean, they would have come public and say, once we plant this, we don't use the land anymore. So do you, when you say it has been here for long, do you mean imported or planted? Do you have any idea?
Probably imported. Probably imported. And I know people that plant seedless grapes around now.
Now, I mean,
there are people that there are people that plant seedless in this Lagos. They have farms. They plant seedless grapes. They are hybrids. So Mayegu, hybrids. Wow. And when you see at the GMO,
princess, they call them variants. Variants.
I should know that they did all these things in the lab.
And now,
so when you eat them, when you eat things like that, then you fall sick. You still have to go to the big pharma. They give you something for diabetes, then it starts affecting your liver.
Your kidney, your everything. It is what it is. So, Princess, I think your line has somehow acted up. So let me take another one. Another person. Yeah, hello.
Hello, Mayegu Don.
Yes, sir. How are you, Baba?
What's good? I'm fine. This is Mr. Z from Lagos.
That's Mr. Z from Lagos, Baba. Thank you so much for coming back on again. Here we go.
Yeah.
Where do you want to come in?
Okay, Mayegu, I want to start with this. I have a friend, a much older friend. It takes about maybe 15 years older than me. He voted Buhari twice and voted Tinubu. I cut him off from my life.
God bless you.
I don't think that's wrong. He calls, his children will call me. I don't even want to talk to him. He has granddaughters. And before the election, he was saying he's not even going to vote for Tinubu. He's going to work for him. Now the poverty, his restaurant is in mess. Is in a mess.
Oh,
no. I cut him off totally. Please, I'm not doing anything wrong.
But let's say this too, okay? The reason why you have to cut them off is this. If you don't cut them off, you are going to become them. Not like you are going to be supporting thiefnubu. You are going to lose everything, trying to save them. They can't be saved. So if you want to save yourself, right, walk away. Or else, in another 2-3 years, right, I don't want you to come back and say, Mayegu, I lost everything because I was helping somebody who voted Buhari twice and thiefnubu once. Please don't. For the sake of our listeners, Baba. Fire. I'm behind you.
When you go in Lagos now, you go to eat in normal restaurant, and the way they will put small stew for you because of cost of tomatoes and pepper. They will mice the stew as if, oh my God, is what is showing that poverty has entered deep inside this land. Deep inside. Even Dangote has started complaining today. The whole Dangote is complaining. He might not touch it that way, but his own investment and his staff salary, and he's hearing complaints. He must join the people because he knows probably revolution is coming. So he must start letting the people know, aligning with the people that are on your side.
See, imagine yesterday, I said something that in September, the Central Bank of Nigeria is going to increase your taxes again. Okay? And you see, that will be for those of you who are working or who have this and that. You can tell how much they've taken from you, Abi. But you see the new businesses. I'm talking about those who have businesses in Nigeria, who are still surviving, who are still weathering the storm. By September, they're going to have another challenge that will make majority of them to consider if they actually really want to remain in Nigeria or not. But the quota system billionaire is calling on thiefnubu to help him and stop that central bank. Meanwhile, thiefnubu tells central bank to increase the money.
So I don't even know if it's Tinubu really operating, because that guy is quite too old, and I don't really know if he's the one running things. I don't think he can even think. The only thing he'll be running is, where's my money here? You don't do this one for me. That gold, Alake, have you kept the gold in this place? This one, because I know that same greed of money is still inside him. Have you kept my gold there? Borrow this money. How much did you keep for us? He has nothing to do with governance, security. He doesn't give a damn about that. Before I curse. doesn't give a damn about that. When you hear him talk or when you see the way he behaves, you know he doesn't really care. I hear the Northerners are planning him seriously against 2027, but they don't. What they don't know is, with all the nonsense that happened, the man that did all that nonsense, Yakubu, is still standing there. Nothing happened to him. We didn't revolt. We didn't do anything. Nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to his family. Everything just moved smoothly. That man is still in charge. They started giving
promises. He's going to remove him. He's going to remove him before the end of 2025. He's going to put a Yoruba man there.
I believe
he's
you.
going to realize that now do or die. He knows that he will do anything, and there's nothing anybody will do.
I believe you. I believe you 100%.
He's going to remove
I believe you.
He's not going to take any chances. He's going
to put
it's that impunity they're talking about, right?
Yes,
We'll watch it on the big screen.
Yes. He'll put a Yoruba man there that he knows he's ready to die for him.
They go shout. How can a Yoruba man be INEC chairman? Or if he just go bring somebody from Benin, somebody from the Middle Belt, who is from their part, that doesn't mean that person is representing anybody other than him, right? And everybody and now. And then thiefnubu will be like, Chibi now when I talk say we should remove Yakub. I've removed him now. Put somebody else. You are still complaining. But that would
You're still complaining. These people are smart. As we're talking like this, those people are smart. Remember, please, just my last point. Before the last election, there was a time they passed one rumor that Yakubu, they want to remove Yakubu. All of us revolted. We revolted. Don't remove him. Don't remove him. Not knowing that man was the main catalyst. All of us that time will be no, don't remove him. Don't. We shouted.
Now,
don't know that man.
See Yakubu anywhere like this,
Now, man, he can't come out in public now. He convoy, you pass Tinubu convoy himself now because. God bless you. This one you say we're not going to sing for some time. This one you say we're not singing for some time. So to weekend with that, Abi.
I know it will be to weekend, okay. Or maybe you know me now. Just small time we will miss ourselves. So even let's say maybe day 1, day 2, I can just bring out my phone and say, okay, I need to rest. I want to say something as usual, right? But
correct.
Anyway, officially back will be like a Saturday.
Okay, that's good. That's good. You need to rest sometimes.
And you too.
God bless you. All right.
God bless you. So I have I'm gonna. I think we currently have how many minutes? We do have just about 15 minutes to go tonight. Okay. And here. If you need to know the rules, right? When you say something, I know how it can be, okay? So when you say something, right, Ifeanyi is trying to call back, probably to respond to your responses. So we don't do that, Ifeanyi, okay? You would have to do it some other time. Now, when you say something, right, you should expect people are going to react and they're going to respond to it. And sometimes, right, you just have to wait till next time to say, okay, this is what I meant. Or you have your shot. Here is another caller. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Yeah. You know, the other time somebody was saying they call you almost about 75 times. And I believe that person. Today, I think I've crossed that borderline. 75. I keep calling, dropping. They remind me on another call. Anyway, just not to go too long.
We can now put it back to 0. So the next time you start the count will be the next time attempting to call in again, right? So it's good to have you, sir, right? Please.
Yeah, Mayugun, thank you very much. And I thank the listeners and the viewers. God bless all of you. My name is Akin once again, and I've been listening to Mayugun for over 5 years, just over maybe from the kitchen time, but I don't need to go too much to that. But what I just want today is that my life has changed totally through listening to you, paying attention and taking notes. And this has helped me in dealing with most of life issues, personal issues, family issues, environmental issues, and how to deal with people and society. Just like most of this thing, because in everything you say or when you are listening to, like what I said the other time, I'm and that makes me to be an outstanding in everywhere I go, both in class, in the classrooms, and in my workplace, is that I always listen. And from what you have been saying, I can only pick one topic and use it to titrate how people think, how they do, how they are reasoning, ideology, and why do they do these things, and what is the solution to it, and then how we should. Those are the things I always see about all your sermons, and most of the time, and that is why sometimes ago I said that people should listen instead of hello, how are you? Have you poo-poo? Have you shit? Have you all that? People are thinking maybe I'm just, but when I'm in a classroom, I don't like listening to noise. But you told me at that time just to ignore that, and I do. And since then, I just keep quiet. So, you see, there was a guy, because I don't want to talk much about Nigerian situations. I've already told you, people who listen to me or listen to you, they'll be able to digest and be able to see things. These Nigerian leaders, they are dealing with Nigerians in three ways. The first one is the religious part of it. The second one is through tribalism, through tribe, which is tribalism. And the other one is the ethnic aspect of it. And with that, they use it to divide and rule us and be able to cow down a lot of people. With this, through our disagreement, they gain power and have the access to do whatever they want to do, because they know when they throw that shot into us, when they throw that corn into our midst, we are just like cock, and we started hustling for it. And they just pick one of us and they just eat it. So I wish at the end of the day that people can just listen to what Professor Mayegun is preaching. His sermon is psychological, is technical, and is spiritual at the same time. You don't need to be, if you listen to Mayegun, you'll be able, your mental, the way you think about life will change. When you listen to him, and it's as if you are inside him and it's inside you. You can be able to, if you say one thing, you'll be able to view a lot of things about life. You can manage your life. I have settled a lot of rifts in family issues, friends issues, relationship issues, with the way he talks, with the way, because there are certain things, before I used to get angry, but nowadays when people say something, I'll just calm down, listen to both sides. And whatever I say at that time, it makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Mayegun. And yeah. And the other thing is about the guy who is talking about GMO foods, that banana tastes bad and all those kind of things. I am a farmer. I grew up a farmer. And even when we were in the school, in the primary school in those days, we used to grow àgbàdo, we used to grow corn, we used to grow millet and all those kind of things. And my father has a plantation of yam, plantain, banana, walnuts, and all other cash crops and basic crops. So I know the difference. I know how it tastes. So it's very sweet. Some of the time I will sit down, when after working in the farm for about an hour, I'll just sit down under this banana tree, just shake it, and the thing will start falling, and you see me eating to the full. And my brother, that's what my Princess Balogun said, that we were grown up through our mother's breastfeeding. I could remember my mother was telling us that Akin I breastfeed him for almost about 4 years. You can imagine. And with that, they still feed me with...
Is your mom Ijebu as well? Are you from Ijebu?
I am from Anikale, from Ondo State.
It's so similar. See me, from Ijebu. I mean, I don't know if I should be proud saying this, right? I still remember very much that sometimes, somewhere around when I was about 3, 4, I would go and play with other kids, okay? Then I will come back home and I will be pulling my mom's top.
At the backyard.
I remember later she was like, she became embarrassed. She kind of felt embarrassed about it. Like, this one with all his teeth, you are still putting your breast in his mouth. So he won't really, he likes it, he won't really, he won't really go to bed if he doesn't have that milk. I remember, maybe not that way I'm saying it now, okay? But I do remember when my mom would be like, go shit down. Everywhere. You don't even have shame. My mom would tell me that. I was a little kid. And I knew there are many of us who grew up that way. That some people even sucked the breast till they were 5. And you know what I mean? So when we felt like our parents then felt like, drinking the cow milk will make us stubborn. It will make us like it could actually be goat milk, and we're going to be a ure, we won't be listening. A lot of the people a lot of women or mothers from where I grew up, they were ready to give us milk, breast milk till we were 5. I sucked breast till I was 4. So it's talking about your mom.
Yeah, Mayegun, you see, all those things, those are the things that make us to be strong, because we eat and feed on natural foods. And even till now, each time I go to Nigeria, I still go to those farms, though most of those things are not there again. But I still know the taste of, even in this country, when they bring all this, when I buy a banana in the market or plantain, I know the taste that these are not real. They are not real. But what can I do? But by the time I go to Nigeria, I eat all those things, drink agbo, and then energize myself. Even some of the time when I go home, I see some of my mates. I say, even at my 60, I still look strong, and I can still wire a woman at least 3 times before daybreak. So that is
Thank you so much.
Sorry about that. Yes, thank you so much. Okay. Mayegun, do you want me to say this thing?
Quickly.
I just want to say the last one is that the situation in Nigeria, personally, is based on tribal, spiritual, and ethnic jingoism. They use this thing to divide us, and we should not give them power through our division. And please, let us see that, and at least let us be happy having Mayegun telling us all these things, rewiring our brain, and making us to see the light out of darkness. God bless you, and thank you.
Amen to that. Okay, you have a wonderful night, sir. And that's a good one. See, this is where we are going to draw the curtains and call it a night. So thank you so much, everyone, again, okay, for spending your evening with me. And from what we have chatted this evening, okay, tomorrow is another day. No, it's not going to be tomorrow. But anyway, I'll see you again when I see you. So thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of the week. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1. mọ̀ làwọn tó jódodo.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Máyégún ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Máyégún dáyàrí pòlítíkò.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Máyégún dáyàrí náírà nọ́mbà wán.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Àyè.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ó fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù máyé ń ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.